Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a classic French tip with a spin on vacation and ocean and just feeling like you're having a nice swim in the salty water. So I picked out some colours that are going to work with that. As you saw, we've got some blue and a green, very bright, vibrant, almost pastel-y in some ways that are going to make you think of the ocean and the holiday. And I am also going to obviously use a nude shade just for the French tip. Every single nail today has a French tip going on, so we do need a nudie base for all 5 nails. So I am going in with my current absolute fave. I feel like it literally is being featured on every single video of mine currently, especially the press on nail content, because it's just gorgeous. I always do 3 coats. I do 3 very thin layers, because it's a very, very nice buildable colour and it just looks gorgeous. And when you wear it, it just works perfectly. And I feel like it's one of those where it kind of works with every skin tone. So defo recommend. And nails have a lot of different colours as well to pick from. So in case this one isn't quite your cup of tea, they will have other colours on their website, which I am planning to try out in the future. So eventually there will be a video on my channel, I'm sure, using all the other colours, but for now I am in love with this one, and as long as I've got my bowl of it, I will continue using it until I run out. But we're going to start off with the light green shade, and we're going to do a couple French tips. So with the light green shade, we want to do a French tip on pinky, we want it also on the index finger, and then the other 3 are going to have some either a different colour, or we're going to try and do an ombre tip, which at first sounds kind of scary, especially when we're actually doing it on on actual press on nail sizes, because obviously our nails are very small, and I would usually be doing these kind of crazy designs on long stiletto style nails on my channel, as you'll probably remember. I still do it occasionally, but not as much as I used to. And when you've got a bigger canvas, it's so much easier to just blend and you've just got more space around you. But when you're doing it on some small little tips, it's a little bit harder. So you have to be a bit more careful and a bit more conscious, maybe, where you're actually placing your brush. So I've used the green to outline and do my smile line. And then I'm kind of colouring in about half of that French tip. Then the other half I'm going to do with that darker teal kind of colour, meeting it in the middle, and then grabbing your ombre brush. For me today it's going to be my Madame Glam one. I'm just going to wipe it quickly of any excess residue or anything that I had going on with it earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and ombre essentially. So very slowly I am going back and forth. Obviously the footage is sped up, so it makes it look like I'm going much quicker than I am. And if you're unhappy with the blend, just go back in and continue, but you don't have to worry too much, because we will have to do a second coat of that later on. So usually the ombres come together or at the second coat, so never skip the second coat. That's for sure. Don't try and make it perfect in this first coat, because it's just too much work and effort, and the second coat always does it. So on the ring finger, we're going to do the whole teal Frenchie. And then lastly on the thumb, we're going to do another ombre, but we're going to switch the colours around. So this time around, we're going to have the darker teal at the smile line area, and then the nice pastel-y green at the tip area. If you're a bit unsure on how to ombre, or feel like you just don't really have that much space, then I'd probably just recommend you pop in the smile line a little bit higher on the nail. It may not be quite what you want it to look, but at least you've got more space, you can practice that way, and as you get more comfortable with the method, then you can go in basically later and just kind of lower down your smile line and kind of go from there. So now with some blooming gel, I am going to apply that only on the tip of the pinky on this one, and then using the opposite colour. So the pinky has the pale green kind of colour in the background, so we're going to go in with the darker teal shade, and then onto a dotting tool, and we're going to do dots only on the tip area and kind of let it bloom. As soon as you're happy with the way it's bloomed, pop it straight into lamp for a cure, because it will continue to bloom and you do not want that. So pop that in there, and you want to do the same idea with the index finger as well. I'll show you me doing that as well there. But if you apply the blooming gel across the whole nail, that's fine too. It's just more that I'm always just concerned that it's going to start blooming into areas I don't want it to. So if I focus my gel in the area where I need it to be, I'm just hoping that it just won't bloom any further than that anyways. So that's what I'm doing, especially as the dots that we're placing are very close to the smile line. So, you know, sometimes it can bloom very fast. So if you just not notice in time, or you're not done with your design, it can end up blooming into areas you don't want it. And it's just best to avoid that as much as possible. So there goes that index nail there, and now we're going to Slam for a Cure. Now that it's out, I am going to use some white gel polish. This one is the Bold White from Madame Glam, and I'm going to do, I always forget the name, guys, I'm so sorry, I really need to focus. I call it, it's not a lotus, it's a hibiscus flower, right? I keep calling it a lotus flower, I have no idea why, but it's a hibiscus, I'm pretty sure now. But we're going to hand do it. It's very simple. It's a cluster of like 3 dots, and you want to do that 5 times. So each 3 dots are essentially going to be one of your petals. And then using just like a thin brush, you just want to connect them nothing too crazy, like you don't want to be too perfect with it, just randomly connect the lines to the center dot. And then if you wanted to continue and do, you know, one of those little center lines that usually come out of them, you can do so. I think I do it on the other nail, but on the pinky I just thought I'll continue with some dots around the smile line area. And then we're going to do this exact same flower on the index finger as well, but that will be either in the moment or I just cut it because it's just repetitive. And then onto the thumb, we're going to do an animal print. I think it's like a zebra kind of pattern, and it's very simple, very easy. Just pop your brush into the gel and just kind of scrape it on the corners, and it'll basically do it for you. And just keep going. I am literally going to continue doing it all the way up until it's all covered essentially. You want to make sure you're leaving a decent gap in between though, because you just don't want it to be like too much, but you also don't want it to be too little. You just kind of need to know or gauge how much. Best if you have like a picture reference to kind of follow through on. Or if any of the animal print or pattern that I'm doing today are a bit too much for you, I do recommend as a second option just doing some stamping instead. I have some animal print stamping plates that I could have used if I wanted to, but sometimes this is just easier to do by hand, and it does sometimes give it a bit of a different look as well. So it depends kind of what you're going for. And we're also going to do those lines on the middle finger too. I just can't remember if I showed you this footage, but I'm guessing by the fact that we're already on 7 minutes, I'm gonna guess I cut it out. So I edited the video a couple of days ago, and I only just got around to voicing it, so I can't remember what I did on it. But we're going back to the flower that we're going to do on the index finger, and it's the same process, but I just feel like they're so effective for the summer. And I really recommend doing them if you're able to practice them and stuff. They're so fun. I feel like clients are going to go crazy for them. So now everything's secured in place, and it's time to bling the set out. We've got 3 nails that are going to have bling. We're going to start off with the thumb. Thumb is very short and sweet, basically. Right there at the bottom of the smile line, I'm just doing 2 ABs and this like little gem looking thing. Then in between, I am going to put some caviar beads and then pop that one into the lamp for a cure. I always like to preface that it's probably quite important not to cure the gems into place before putting your caviar beads on. Usually when I would do my long stiletto nails, that was just for design purposes. I just wanted to inspire you guys, get you guys creative, and just kind of show you different products and techniques and just how I do things. But when I'm doing press-ons to actually wear, we have to be a bit more strategic here, because these are going to be nails that you or your clients or your family members are going to be looking at for a week, 2 or 3, however long they end up being able to wear them for. So we kind of want to make sure things are centered and things are proper. So when you cure something in place, you obviously can't move it. So if you wanted a nice snug fit with a caviar bead in between, you may not be able to do that if you apply maybe too much rhinestone glue gel in that area, for example, and stuff. So bear that in mind when you're doing it. It's not a problem if you do, obviously go ahead and do it. It's completely up to you. It's just something to bear in mind when you're doing it. So we're going to repeat that exact same pattern placement of your crystals onto the middle nail as well, just right there. Same sizes, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I actually decreased them or changed them in any way. They worked, luckily. Maybe if I was doing it on a pinky, I would have downsized a little bit. But here they are. And then in go the caviar beads as well. And then last but not least, it will be that ring finger. Now that one, I love the way it looks. These are ones that I'm actually going to wear, so they're for me, so I don't have to worry too much. But I ordered some charms from Shein, and one pack had these summery beach looking charms, and I picked out this mermaid tail, which works really lovely and it looks great. But currently I've got a leopard print set on and it has a bow on it and it's catching, guys, like big time. I need to figure this out, or I'm only on like day 2 of wearing it and it's driving me a little bit nuts. So I'm hoping that this little fin or mermaid tail, I guess, this one here, doesn't end up catching because it's got pretty sharp corners at the top there. So bit of a pain that. I don't know whether I file them down or what I do, but they're just catchy and I'm a bit all over the place sometimes with my life and I don't always look after myself too well, so I will probably end up catching it, pulling it off, hurting myself and just being a nightmare with it. So bear that in mind. I know there's techniques of like bending charms and stuff. I've never tried that before, but maybe it's worth giving that a look because sometimes those charms are really, really nice and I just want to use them, but I also don't really want to get, you know, scratching myself or catching it on things. Really, really frustrating. So once I've kind of got my placement down, so I've got some flowers there, ABs, and obviously that charm, I am going to place cava beads in between again. That's just, I don't know, I just really like cava beads. I just always described it as a bit of jewelry, that final touch to a design where it just kind of needs it sometimes. Like right now, it kind of feels quite bare, but when you add it in there, it just kind of completes the look and makes it look really pretty. And these cava beads are so affordable on Shein. I got like a pack of probably 5,000 of those, to be honest, and I only paid like £1 or so. So very affordable, very nice, and it just honestly makes such a difference on your crystal placements. So I'm going to take my time with this. We're going to pop that into Glamify Cure. Once it comes out, we're going to do our top coat. So that'll be basically the end of the video for today. With the top coats, because I'm trying to maintain those crystals in place for as long as I can whilst I wear them, I am going to apply 2 coats of top coat on all the charm nails, and I am going to apply the top coat on top of the actual charms themselves. I know it can be a bit of a controversial thing, but I just wanted to mention that I've seen success with that for myself anyways. Like I've noticed my charms stay on, they don't come off when I do this, and the sparkliness doesn't really alter it too much either, so they're not real, you know, Swarovskis or anything that I'm applying, so I don't have to worry about that too much. So I am happy and I definitely recommend it myself. If it ever changes, I'll let you know, but for now I'm very happy with that process and I'll be continuing it until further notice. But I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!